What's up, future me and digital me? Ooh, I'm gonna talk about two things because whatever. I have two things on my mind. I went to a fair today in Trinity down the road. I think it was called the Trinity County Fair. So small town life. Uh, this is my first small town that I've been in. Arkansas. It was a small town, but it was like the edge of like the suburb, and then there was more suburb, and then there was Little Rock. So it was pretty. It was a little similar to where I grew up because I grew up right on the edge. I grew up in Glendale, which Milwaukee stops, and then Glendale is there. So and then there's just a whole shitload of suburbs, and for you know 30 minutes of freeway driving before you start to really hit um, what you might call rural-ish Wisconsin. So I was like in the thick of the suburbs for most of my life. And you could do like, it only took like 5 or 10 minutes of freeway driving to get into the city proper of Milwaukee. And, you know, it took like 3 minutes of freeway driving during rush hour to be like stopped. Yes, there is traffic in Milwaukee during rush hour for people that are like live in LA and like, oh, we have the shittiest traffic ever. Yeah, we have it too in the Midwest. You might be surprised, but yeah, it does happen in the Midwest. I mean, it may not be like stop for 5 minutes and then go, but it's it's a crawl a lot of the time. Because surprise, people don't know how to drive anywhere ever. So yeah, at the fair, I went there and saw the rides, and this is my summary of it. I've been to Six Flags, and so the fair, I'm 42. You don't need to go to a fair. I don't need, I get nothing out of it. If I like had a date, I'd take a date there, you know, especially in a small town because it's something to do that you're just not going to get in the area of you know small towniness, especially in Texas where I am here in Trinity. If you want to get anything to do, you're gonna have to drive like an hour into like Houston. I don't know. I think maybe it's like an hour and a half into Houston, or maybe an hour up to Dallas. I mean, Texas is so fucking huge that yeah, that's gonna be like the best thing that you're gonna get with like a 2 minute drive. So yeah, you're gonna take advantage of it um, while it's here. And when I was walking there, I was like, am I gonna have to pay to get in and something? No, you can just walk in. You have to pay for everything though. So whatever. So yeah, if you're a kid, I'm sure it's fun. Everything's fun when you're a kid. When you're a kid and you have no frame of reference, everything's great. Um, uh, take a day to it, make a day, you know. Uh, but at the age I'm yeah, whatever. I only had enough time because I went late in the day. I only saw that section with like the rides and stuff. and it was getting dark, and I had to walk home, so I left. And by the time I was walking home, I was like, ah, shit, there probably was another section where like it had like the non-carnival thing, and it had like people from the community selling their stuff. And I probably could have talked to the people in the community, but like I said, it was late. I'm glad I did that and walked home because man, I'm wiped now. So yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting to see whatever, and I saw people playing the Carney games, and that's always fun. People trying to like win stuff like in real life instead of in the movies. It's awesome, and people are classically bad at it too. Watch people play the shooting the balls, and I talked to a couple of them, and they're just like, yeah, the just like it's everything is wrong with, with that game. Everything I'm thinking everything is wrong with it except the ball. The ball is like a legitimate basketball, and I was like, yeah, it's probably not at free throw distance. And then I was looking down and like they painted where it's supposed to be. Like they were like, this is where the free throw line is. So they painted it. So they did that for you. And and I talked to the guy, and he's like, "Yeah, the hoop is lower, and the rim is smaller." And it's just like, "Yeah, they're really fucking with you on that shit." It's just like everything is wrong, everything to not only make it harder, but like if you shoot, like if you're a player, if you're a basketball player, like mentally you've shot a free throw like 1,000 or 10,000 times, so like just your natural rhythm is just totally working against you. And so you probably have a better chance if if you play just a little bit of basketball and you can just kind of look at it and just be like, and just kind of feel it out a little bit. But even then, like if the rim is a little smaller, like a centimeter or something like that, that's gonna make it kind of more difficult, like a lot more difficult to get that some bitch through. And then there's other games. I saw someone do one of those punching ball things in there. That was great. I didn't see that they had one of the sledgehammer ones there though. I didn't see one of those there. Um, I saw a lot of the teacup style rides. It was basically teacup rides, but there were just lots of variations of them. I would say this one thing about that thing, that carnival style, the county fair thing, that probably is good. That it's got over Six Flags is the lines for the rides is just so much tinier. Because the one time I did go to Six Flags, I just remember the lines for the rides were horrible. I mean, like the shortest line for the ride was like 30 minutes long, and it's just like, ugh. That's just horrible. You know, stand. I mean, our the one I went to was in Illinois. You gotta stand out there, just chatting it up with your boys for a half hour to ride on a ride that's like a minute long. And the the park gets like, I mean, I don't even know how many thousand people there are there, but at a time, like at one time, there. 15, 20, 25,000. I mean, there are a lot of fucking people. It is fucking packed at those Six Flags and Disney World and whatever they got. So it's fucking packed in those places. And like I said, like, in the time it takes to go on one or two of the rides at Six Flags, you probably ride almost every ride at the county fair. There wasn't a roller coaster there. There wasn't even one there though. So that's kind of a shame. That's it. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, that's a small county fair. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I was trying to think. I'm pretty sure back home we went to the Milwaukee County Fair once when I and my sister were small. We went once. My dad was not the kind of person to take the family out to places that had lots of people because he was a very like, well, I don't want to do, like he's like, I'm not gonna go do that stupid bull crap. Well, fuck that. Like, I have to. Like, he's like, I don't want to pay for that. I don't want to pay for parking. I don't want to do parking. I don't want to do blah blah blah. We didn't go out to baseball games. We didn't go out to like fucking. We didn't go out to anything. We did picnics and we went out to like um, nature trips a couple times when we were very young, and after that, we just did nothing. We saw fireworks when we were young a few times, and after that, the guy hated doing family outings. So, we wanted to do shit. We had to like do it on our own, or like do it with a friend's family. I mean, my dad was cheerful. And like Christmas was just like, why are we having Christmas? Why do we have to go get a tree, decorate it? It's like, wow. Why do I need to watch The Grinch Who Stole Christmas? I mean, I got him right there. What's the point? What's the point of watching the movie? I know the guy's heart did not grow 3 sizes. I see it every year. The movie is a lie. I know it's a lie. I, the heart never grows. If anything, it grows smaller. Uh, it atrophies every year. Um, damn. I got shit on my hands. All right. So that's that. All right. If you want to go to your fair, um, as a single middle-aged or older guy, eh, I mean, it's on you, but whatever. Otherwise, let's say go find your main squeeze, and then you're into something, and you got a reason to go. Otherwise, you take your family, then you get something out of it. Because that's pretty much what I saw there. A guy and a gal, some families, and a couple groups of teenagers. Otherwise, I think I saw one other uh, single teenager there that was alone. Otherwise, I did not see single people just wandering around themselves. I was the only person there. I was just like scouting it out. It's, you just don't do that by yourself. I was like um, an old English uh, um, what do they call explorer or whatever. And this is what we now we go and see the natives in their proper environment. Ooh, don't get too close. You might get cotton candy on you. So yeah, um, there's that. And I'm gonna talk about Trump now. So if you wanna stay, and I can listen to me bitch about Trump more. Otherwise, if you've had fun, then toodles. I'm still pretty wiped. And it got hot in the apartment too. It'll cool down in an hour or two, but it got hot. So Trump, yeah, Trumpty Dumpty. I wanted to talk about his whole China thing, his debacle, and America's downfall about China. Shit. Because, I see this video that China Shock 2.0 is coming. And it's another guy talking about um, the stuff China is or is going to eclipse America on. And real quick, the stuff, because I'm losing interest in talking about this now. Trump and his followers and the people that believe in him unjustly have this kind of weird, this kind of fanatic uh, way of approaching the world, which is America good, everybody else bad, and you know, America gonna win no matter what because America, America, and it's just like, you know, it's just a weird kind of I'm right, you're wrong, gung ho, no looking at any other kind of information or facts or anything, no taking in information and trying to make some kind of um, appraisal on that information and try to make a strategy or anything. Just, I'm right, you're wrong because I'm right. And that is such a loser approach to things. I mean, it is such I don't know any other way to put it other than that is loser. That is loser, 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 loser. That is exactly, fossil fuels are the way to go because they always have been, except they haven't, but they always have been since I've been alive and my father has been alive. So basically, you're dumb and you're totally unwilling to look at, I mean, that's why I try to engage with anybody that won't that says, you know, oil and gas and blah are good. And then every time I have in the past, they're just like renewables are not economic, and here's why. And then the person will start saying stuff, and I'm like, I try to be like diplomatic, right? Like, okay, well, maybe that was true at one time, but if that was, then you're obviously not keeping up on your information, um, and your research. You're just not. Um, there's a lot of things that some people are just not staying modern on and are not willing to kind of go forward on. And that's Trump and that's Republican. They're just like, things are great now, let's just stop right here. And that is all good and well as long as you are the only person on the island. Trouble is, you're not the only person on the island. Not by a long fucking shot, because China and India both have more than a billion people, and America has 370 ish million people, and with two countries that have more than a billion people, we're gonna get outraced really fucking quick, and that's just two countries that have by themselves more than 2 billion people. The continent of Africa, not one of the countries. But the continent of Africa probably has 1.5 billion or more. And they're slowly knitting themselves together in a solid African union. There's some holes there, and they're working out their, the bugs in their union. But they're coming together pretty quick. And pretty soon, I've been saying this for a while, pretty soon Africa is going to be a a much bigger power than China or India. And I'm betting you China knows this because China has the most advanced. Uh, China is more put together than India, and it's more advanced in a lot of ways than India. So, and China always has been this. China always has been full of people that are much more willing to constantly, uh, you know, self-appraise. I mean, the culture and the country is what 4 or 5 thousand years old, and they're full of Buddhists and everything. So the philosophy is always self-reflection and stuff. So they know it's that's the way to do it. And America is full of people who are just like, no, I'm right. Christianity says I'm right. God, and we're the best, and everybody else sucks. Everybody else doesn't just suck; they're ass shit. So we don't even need to question that point of view. Um, and anyone who questions us is the worst. Um, and we can take that back to the Charlie Kirk thing as just another point of proof of all of that. That they don't even want you questioning anything because they're going to just be like Charlie Kirk was a Christian, and since he was a Christian, he's the best, and that makes us the best. And since us are the best, everybody else is the worst. Not just worse than us or lesser than us, but the worst. Everybody else is tied for the worst, not second or third or fourth, but tied for the worst in history and in the history of humanity. It's like, that's great, Trump and the rest of the party of dumb. So I just, you don't know how to reason and talk with this kind of person. That is, the meme of America on the political right anymore. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know why we're indulging this anymore either. This is the kind of individual that you don't even really talk to. You say you shove them in the room and you say you're grounded and you're not coming out until you cool down. Just cool down and stop crying, and then when you come out, you can play with your toys again. Because you're acting like a baby. That's what you say to these people. So, yeah. In the words of Mr. T, I pity the fool. I pity the fool that don't run up on Trump and pimp slap him to the ground like I can't think of his name now. Guy in head of state. He's dead now, unfortunately. I don't know why I still want to say Charlie Murphy, but it's not Charlie Murphy. He has the greatest scene in the movie, the best scene in the movie. The brother of the black president has the best scene in the movie. Anyways, um, yeah, Trump is a dip. Republicans are dips. They don't know how to handle real world. Um, I also wanted to say, yeah, Trump, you know, he's like, he wants to bring back manufacturing to the United States, right? So he wants to bring back manufacturing to the United States. And then on top of that, he he wants to kick out the only section, the only segment of the U.S. population that would actually be willing to do the kind of manufacturing jobs that he wants to bring back. It's like genius. Genius. That is some dope, next level lunacy, dumb thinking there. I love it. I love that you're that Gergen of stupid. Seriously. That that does earn you a Nobel Prize for derp. All right. You know. So China and India both individually have 1 billion people. So I think we're gonna need to, as the United States, and I think we got enough land for this. We're gonna need to import a few 100 million people and start building up the infrastructure again, and definitely rebuild the educational programs and stuff. Because I mean, without importing a solid, I don't know, shitload of immigrants every year for the next 2 decades. We are not going to increase our population base at all. Maybe we should just be like, are you good? Are you a good citizen and stuff? Yeah? Good? Are you going to have lots of babies? Yes? Excellent? Good. Okay. Here's your bottle of whiskey. Is your wife with you? Here's your bottle of whiskey. Now get to drinking, get to fucking. Here's your shitty manufacturing job. Stitch together them sneakers and get to fucking after you work your 11-hour days. Stitch, fuck, drink. Not necessarily on that order, but whatever, we don't care. If your wife gets pregnant in the first 2 months, you both get a green card. That's how it is. The reason I'm drunk is because my days are fucked. I work 14 hours. I hate this job, but I need it because I'm broke as shit, because billionaires. Anyways, 32 minutes and there's a train. I'm gonna be done. I don't want to fucking talk through a train. All right, text rich boobs and out.